Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Miss Art channel, and on this episode, we are going to have a little conversation or kwentuhan about progress and education. But before tayo mapunta doon, kindly bear with me lang. Pagpasensyahan nyo na yung outfit ko ngayon kasi sobrang ginit talaga, hindi kaya ng ating katawang lupa. And pagdating sa tao, sa mamamayan, yung kaunlaran or progress ng isang bansa, and yung sa education, alam ko sobrang umiinit ang ulo ng mga tao pagdating sa usaping yan. Okay? After politics. Mainit ang ulo natin pagdating sa edukasyon, ganyan. At yung progreso or progress. So, yun lang. Sobrang init kasi. So, I hope kayo medyo naiibsa ng init kung nasan man kayo. Naiibsan nyo yung init or yung mood nyo rin medyo napapakalma nyo if umiinit man ang ulo nyo sa mga oras na to, okay? But yun lang, I just want to get that out of the way, and let's just go to the topic I want to discuss dito sa video na to. Kasi few days ago, on the last few episodes of Attorney Libayan, medyo na-highlight lang yung kinoment ko na it's the people, yung pagdating sa progress ng isang bansa, ano yung parang number one contributor or yung number one factor or yung biggest factor kung paano mo madedetermine na yung isang bansa is maunlad or progressive or mayaman, malakas, yan. So, ayun, na-mention ko nga na it's the people. And nagkaroon ng mga further discussions about that. So, yun nga, ito, I just want to share yung video ni Kayo Pahiram ng video mo, na feature niya about wealth of a nation. And ito nga, meron siyang ChatGPT inquiry and result na diniscuss dun sa video niya. So, dito, I will point lang dun pagdating sa education. Kasi although hindi naman ganun ka-in-depth yung knowledge ko in terms of yung challenges and difficulties ng country natin when it comes to education, meron akong masishare na nakuha ko rin from influential people or people na nakakontribute sa education natin. When I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with them sometime 2019. So more on that later on. But let's listen lang muna for a bit dun sa video ni Kayo kasi meron ditong part na tawang-tawa ako. And dito sa video na to, makailang beses din namang minention yung education or yung knowledge ng tao as a contributor sa progress or sa pag-unlad ng isang bansa. Okay? Play muna natin.
Innovation and technology.
Yan.
Smith recognized the role of innovation and technological advancement in driving productivity growth. When a nation invests in education, wow! Education kagad? Bakit naman education kagad?
See, education agad yung unang-una as a factor contributing to innovation and technological advancement na magre-result sa magandang productivity growth ng isang nation. Kailangan kasi yon yung innovation is backed up by knowledge and education din. So, ano ba, let's first define, ano ba yung innovation? Wait ha, ito na naman tayo sa ano eh. Ito na naman tayo sa technicalities. So let's define innovation here. So sabi dito, can you see na ba my screen? So yan. So sabi dito, innovation is the action or process of innovating. So ano ba ibig sabihin ng innovating? Innovating a new method, idea, or product. So ano ba yung innovating? So innovating means or to innovate means to make changes in something established, meaning nandyan na, meron na, especially by introducing new methods, ideas, and products. So something na nandyan na, i-change mo siya to become a new method, a new product, or a new idea. Okay? So that's innovating. Yun yung innovation or innovating. So, when doing that, syempre, kailangan, balik tayo dun sa video ni Caillou. Syempre, kailangan mag-invest into knowledge or education. Kasi, paano mo malalaman kung ano yung i-innovate mo at kung paano mo i-innovate ang isang bagay or isang idea kung wala kang knowledge about it, about the history of it, about the background of it, about yung composition of it, or ano yung bumubuo dun sa isang product. Kung wala kang education, paano ka makaka-innovate? Paano ka makakaisip ng bago or additional pwedeng improvement dun sa bagay na yon kung wala kang education or knowledge. So, yon, continue natin yung kay Kai.
When a nation invests in education, infrastructure, and technology, it enhances the capabilities of its workforce, leading to higher levels of productivity and economic prosperity.
So, yun na nga, diba? Innovation is creating something new out of what is already there. Diba? So, kapag nag-i-innovate ka, na-enhance or na-improve yung kapasidad or yung capabilities ng workforce mo. Sino ba yung workforce? Diba? Yun yung tao. Tayo yun. Yun tayo. And if nag-i-improve or gumaganda yung capabilities natin, yung kapasidad natin, then mas nagiging productive tayo as a whole, mas tataas yung economic prosperity natin. I hope na-explain ko ng maayos. And I hope naintindihan nyo. So, ano yung role ng education dito? Yun nga, as I mentioned, paano ka mag-i-improve ng isang bagay or ng isang idea kung wala kang kaalam-alam tungkol doon. Kaya very important sa atin, anumang level ka, nasang industriya ka man, or anumang trabaho meron ka, importante na may kaalaman ka dun sa ginagawa mo. And yung kaalaman mo is yun yung tama. Kung meron ka mang alam na mali, alam mo kung paano iiwasan yon at alam mo kung paano itatama yon. Ganun yung education and ganun yung kaalaman. As for me, as for my understanding, parang ganun siya dapat. Okay? And as I mentioned earlier, although konti lang yung alam ko about the challenges and difficulties ng bansa natin pagdating sa edukasyon. Kasi parang since time immemorial, palagi nating sinasabi na yung kaalaman or yung education, yung problema, and yun yung makaka-resolve ng mga problema natin sa bansa as a nation. And even nagkaroon nga ako ng realizations before nung pinapanood ko yung serye sa GMA ng yung si Maria Clara at Ibarra na parang, alam mo yun, nagkaroon ako ng realizations noon na parang, oh my God, since time ng mga Kastila, problema na natin yung edukasyon. And laging sinasabi na ng mga mamamayang Pilipino na kaya tayo napagsasamantalahan ng ibang nation, it's because kulang tayo sa kaalaman. And yet, until now, ganun pa rin yung sinasabi natin, kulang tayo sa kaalaman. Parang ilang daan taon na bang lumipas, hanggang ngayon, yung pa rin yung sinasabi natin, kulang tayo sa kaalaman sa maraming bagay. I mean, at some point in our history, as a nation, medyo naka-advance tayo ng kaunti, pero yung parang parang nag 10 steps forward tayo, tapos biglang nag 50 steps backward tayo ngayon. Parang nasa ganun tayo ngayon eh. So, parang dapat ngayon, talagang ginagawa na natin ng aksyon yung problema natin sa edukasyon. And I had this poll, nagpa-poll ako kahapon, kung ano yung mga problema, bakit hindi tayo umuunlad sa Philippines. And because sinabi ko nga na it's because of the people, ano yung problema, nagpa-poll ako about ano yung problema natin as a tao, as a Pilipino, ano yung problema sa atin, ba't hindi tayo umuunlad. And yung top result doon was, wait let's see if I can show it here. Yung top result was, or is, the top result is, ano ko ba papakita to? So yan. Ang top result is yung corrupt na tao at gobyerno. So, nakita niyo ba dyan? Tao pa rin. Tao pa rin yung involved. May involvement pa rin yung tao. Hindi stand-alone yung gobyerno. Kasi ang daming nagsasabi na nasa gobyerno. Pag umayos yung gobyerno, aayos yung tao. Pero, tanungin nyo nga yung mga sarili nyo, sino ba yung mga nasa gobyerno? Hindi ba mga tao yun? Diba? Tatakbo ba mag-isa yung gobyerno kung walang tao doon? So the question is, do we have the right people in the government that serve the people, serve the majority of the people, or the rest of the people dito sa bansa natin? Do we have the right people there? And still, people pa rin yung usapan, di ba? Tao pa rin yung contributor. So, yun nga. Okay, balik tayo kay Caillou. Mamaya na pala yung sharing ko about the challenges on education. Mamaya na pala yun. So, continue muna tayo kay Caillou.
Alright. Human capital. Smith emphasized the importance of human capital, referring to the skills, knowledge, and abilities possessed by individuals as a key determinant of a nation's wealth.
Keywords. Key determinant. 3. Skills, knowledge, and abilities na likas sa mga tao. Wala tayong problema sa skills, wala tayong problema sa abilities. Meron tayong problema sa knowledge. Tanggap nyo ba, mga kapwa ko mamamayan, kung nasan ang problema natin? Tama ba ako sa iniisip ko? We have the skills. Magagaling tayo. Magagaling, ang dami sa ating stand out. We have the abilities. Ang dami sa ating ang galing dumiskarte. Pero yung knowledge, nasan tayo pagdating sa knowledge? We used to top yung mga English-speaking nations sa Asia. Pero right now, talo na tayo ng India or maybe even Vietnam. Yung English proficiency natin, bumababa. Yung, I think, even sa math proficiency, bumababa din. Pero wala tayong problema sa skills, sa abilidad. Sa galing at abilidad, kaya-kaya natin yan. But, yun nga, yung usapin ng diploma versus diskarte, hindi ka mabubuhay sa diskarte lang. Kasi, diskarte, like innovation, paano ka makakadiskarte kung hindi mo alam yung gagawin mo? Hindi mo alam yung industriyang gagalawan mo, kulang ka sa kaalaman sa mga methods mo, or mga steps mo, or yung mga proseso mo. So, knowledge pa rin talaga yung kailangan. Key determinant para maging maunlad ang isang bansa. 3. And nakalagay dyan, individuals. Because, Continue tayo kay Kayu.
A well-educated, damn it.
Teka lang. Time out. Sorry, Kayo, pero tawang-tawa ko ng pagkasabi mo yung damn it. Kasi meron akong kamag-anak na yun yung pangalan niya. And every time tatawagin siya, ganin yung pagka-stress at emphasize ng pangalan niya. So, yun lang. Commercial lang. Okay,
Smith, why do you do that? Accessed by individuals as a key determinant of a nation's wealth. A well-educated, damn it. Smith, why do you do that? A well-educated and skilled workforce is better equipped to adapt to changing economic conditions, innovate, and drive productivity gains. All right?
So, ayun na nga. Ayan na, sinabi na dyan na na a well-educated and skilled workforce. So, hindi lang skilled workforce. Sino ba yung workforce? Tayo yan, yung mga tao yan. Is better equipped to adapt to changing economic conditions. Mas madaling makaka-adapt tayo sa mga challenges, mga problema na kakaharapin natin kung well-educated tayo at skilled tayo. So, ibig sabihin, maalam at skilled. Kasi madali tayong makaka-adapt, makaka-change, makakaisip ng pamamaraan para maka-survive tayo and makaahon tayo later on pagdating sa mga changes. So, take note, guys. Yung nga yung sinabi din ni Attorney Libayan dun sa video niya. Nag-pandemic, yun ang palaging dahilan ng maraming Pilipino. Nag-pandemic kasi kaya kailangan continuous nyo kaming ayudahan or bigyan ng ayuda. Kaya intindihin natin na hindi tayo umuunlad, bumababa pa tayo, di-decrease pa tayo in terms of GDP. Pero kasi, hindi lang naman tayo yung pinandemic eh. Buong mundo nag-pandemic. Pero bakit yung ibang bansa, nakagaya natin na third world country, naka-adapt ka agad? Nakabangon ka agad? Or mabilis silang nakabangon from the pandemic? It's because the people are well-educated enough to think of ways para mag-adapt sa problema. And pansinin nyo rin sa ating mismong kababayan natin, madami na mabilis na naka-adapt na okay, hindi pwedeng lumabas para pumunta sa office, para magtrabaho, so paano tayo sa sweldo kikita ng pera. Ang daming mga mabilis na naka-adapt na nag-online savings sila, yung iba nag-volunteer na maging riders, para tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung buhay, di ba? So, yun eh. So, if iilan lang yung taong ganon, sa tingin nyo ba, mabilis tayong makakaahon sa pagbagsak ng ekonomiya natin? Kung kukunti lang yung taong nag-iisip ng ways or may kakayanang mag-isip, kahit na nga hindi kakayanang mag-isip eh, at least yung desire, yung kagustuhan, desire na mag-isip ng paraan para bumangon, iilan lang yun. Kumbaga ngayon, sa panahon ngayon, mas marami pa rin yung nagko-complain na lang or laging dinadahilan yung pandemic or laging dinadahilan yung kahirapan. So, dito ko ngayon i-inject yung mga natutunan ko from my experience with talking to some of the hindi naman very influential people when it comes to education, but people na nakakontribute somehow sa education system natin. So back in 2019, I was very fortunate enough to work for a radio program sa Radyo Veritas back then. So ang radio program was called Conversations in Education with Brother June Erguisa. So Brother June Erguisa used to be a president of De La Salle University, and he used to be the president of SEAP, yung Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines. So, it's the Association ng mga Catholic Schools sa country natin. So, yung radio program was run by Brother Junior Giza, and I was, for a couple of months, the radio production assistant. So, ano bang ginawa ko as an assistant? So, of course, ako yung nag-isip ng topics to discuss dun sa weekly program namin. Of course, that is in hand with kung ano yung gustong i-discuss ni Brother June. I just don't know now if active pa yung radio program, but back then kasi kaya siya nag-come up ng radio program because merong donation sa kanya from somewhere. May nag-donate sa kanya ng money, and to make use of the money, parang nag-block time siya sa Radyo Veritas. So that's for, I think, it's been running for a year already nung nag-join ako. And then I only stayed there for a couple of months because hindi ko kinaya yung distance from where I live. So ang hirap for me. But as a radio production assistant, yun yung ginawa ko. Come up with topics, research about the topic on education, and then source out resource person na magsasalita or mag-guest dun sa radio program namin. I think merong ilan-ilang episodes nung radio program na yon that is still available online. If you wanna see it, wait let me see if I can share, but ito siya. Yan. Can you see? That's Conversations in Education. So, ang topic namin, everything and anything about education. So, this particular topic, the teaching of values in the digital age. This is one of the episodes na I organized for the radio program. So, basta marami kami pinag-uusapan dyan. But through the course of my stay as the radio program assistant nitong Conversations in Education na to, I've learned a couple of things. So, wait lang balik lang natin dun kay ito. So, ano ba yung mga natutunan ko when I was doing the radio program with Brother June? Of course, yung mga challenges natin in terms of our education system, marami kasi yan eh. And ano siya, hindi lang siya involving one department, government department, or hindi lang siya involving universities and all. Basta marami siya. So, kung ano na lang inaalala ko, I'll share. So one of the challenges that we have sa education system natin is, of course, yung learning style. So sa learning style, ano yung ibig sabihin ko dyan? Before, I don't know if you can remember, but DepEd tried to implement yung method of teaching sa mga students. Gamitin natin yung mother tongue. Yon, yung gagamitin. Kasi before that, 'di ba, parang inimposed ng DepEd and ng CHED din na English yung gagamitin as the language or language to use pang magtuturo sa mga students. And then sometime 20, I don't know the year na. Update nyo na lang ako sa comment section. But pina-implement nila yung usage ng mother tongue pagdating sa instructing or teaching students, lalo na yung mga nandun sa provinces. So I was able to hear yung parang rationale about this move from the person na nag-pioneer nitong project na to. And she's a professor sa pangalan ng school? Yung school dati na ang tawag is Philippine Normal College, University, PNU. So, professor siya doon, and nag-work din siya at the same time sa DepEd back then. And siya yung parang author or pinaka-main driver nitong usage ng mother tongue. And sinabi niya, in-explain niya sa amin, Because after every episode dun sa conversations in educations, we would have sort of a social hour. We have dinner with the resource persons na in-invite namin doon sa program. So, nakwento nyo doon ano yung rationale about the usage of mother tongue, ganyan-ganyan. Kasi parang from their studies, many years ago pa, from their studies, na-conclude nila na mas mabilis yung nagiging learning ng mga estudyante, especially especially yung mga students sa provinces and yung far-flung areas natin, yung, as in yung mga nasa bundok na. Kapag natuturuan sila about, let's say, technology or yung modern stuff, na gamit yung mother tongue kasi yun yung first language nila. So by mother tongue, I don't mean Filipino versus Cebuano, ganyan-ganyan. By mother tongue, I mean yung kung ano yung first language nila. So if ang first language nila doon sa area nila doon is Chavacano, then you teach them sa elementary level hanggang high school yata using Chavacano. And then, translation na lang later on. Pagdating ng high school yata, ita-translate na lang. But the primary language to use was their mother tongue. Kasi nandun yung comfortability nila and at the same time, nandun yung understanding agad nila is mabilis. So, that's one. And I just don't know if this is still being implemented nowadays. But, yun nga, naging challenge din yan, yung usage ng mother tongue because pagdating sa books, our book publishers print in English or in Filipino. And mahirap, syempre, mag-produce ng mga reference materials in the mother tongue. So, I don't know na if ano na yung status nito nowadays. But yun nga, the idea behind that move was that para mas mabilis makaintindi yung mga estudyante and then ita-translate mo na lang to the language of English or Filipino. But yung understanding and yung comprehension is mas madali nilang nag-grasp, mas nagiging rooted sa system nila or sa brains nila if mother tongue yung gagamitin. And then another challenge faced by our education system is of course yung competence ng mga educators. Because natutunan ko rin from one of the director of, I think, College of Education ng LaSalle. Sorry, nakalimutan ko na talaga kasi 2019 pa to. Nakalimutan ko na yung mga names nila and yung mga positions nila. But it's from ang mga ini-invite ko naman kasi doon sa program is mga director of College of Education, director ng College of Technology and Research, mga ganon. So, in terms of educator competence, ang problema natin dito is parang hindi pa nagkakaroon ng shift. I don't know if ngayon nag-shift na siya. But before kasi, ang mentality ng mga Pilipino pagdating sa education or yung pagdating sa pag-enroll sa college is, sabi nung taga LaSalle, napag-aralan din. May basis din sila kung bakit ganito yung conclusion nila. Because of, ang basis nila is yung number of enrollees that they get sa College of Education nila. And it's the same with other universities din, na hindi education yung core curriculum na ino-offer. Kasi sa PNU, it's education talaga yung ino-offer. But common sa ibang universities na, kasi before pa, ang mentality ng mga Filipino pagdating sa education course is, sabi nila parang madali lang yan. So parang if hindi ka very brilliant na bata, or mahina-hina kang bata, mag-teacher ka na lang. Kasi madali lang yung course na yun. Compared to, let's say, engineering, accountancy, or yung mga mahihirap na courses. So, parang ang mga nag-e-enroll dun sa education, yung mga mahihinang klase. That's how they described it, ha. Walang smart shaming dito or what. But that's how they described it. And kasi parang naging ganun yung mentality ng mga Pilipino from before pa. Na if mahinang klase kang bata or aside from, let's say, hindi mo afford yung courses na magaganda, mag-teacher ka na lang. So, parang ang mga nagiging teachers are mga not very brilliant. So, I think naging usap-usapan din ito sometime few years ago na yung mga teachers natin na nagtuturo sa mga bata is not really very competent, very brilliant, or very intelligent group of people. I know meron akong nakitang mga ganong comments before sa Facebook. So, sabi nila, no wonder bumababa yung proficiency level natin in terms and comprehension level ng mga students natin. It's because we don't really have great teachers or educators sa mga schools natin. And that's why ito yung sinasabi ko kahapon dun sa live ni Kayo before I left na since may studies nga, may data sila na parang ganon yung sitwasyon ng mga teachers, there were some universities and some schools that were testing or that they experimented on hiring other graduates from other fields as the teachers. And then later on, pinapakuha na lang nila ng licensure teacher's exam para magkaroon ng license to teach. But they are getting, let's say, for math teachers, more than they are hiring education graduate na math yung subject na ituturo, they are hiring yung mga BS math to be teachers, and then pinapakuha nila ng LET exam for the license. Or they are getting let's say nutritionists, BS in nutrition. Hindi ko alam yung courses, sorry. Basta yung mga graduate ng nutrition as teachers for health. Yung PE health and music, ganyan. Or yung graduate ng music para dun sa music subject. And they're getting, let's say, basta yung mga ganon. Ganon yung ginagawa ng ibang universities. And they see from yung mga exams ng mga students na mas maganda nga yung scores. And even when it comes to yung mga exams na essay, ganyan, mas maganda yung output. And so, I just don't know if they were able to push a project or a program to improve on that. Pero yun yung feedback coming from yung mga deans, yung mga heads ng mga colleges back then. So yun yung sinasabi ko. That was what I was trying to explain kahapon. And the thing kasi lang then is, some of those graduates, let's say yung sa sabi ni Kayo, yung sa behavioral sciences na graduates, or yung sa psychology graduates, ganyan, they don't know na pwedeng option yung magturo sa mga schools. They just know na they have to find the company na nagtatanggap ng psychology graduates for HR, ganyan. Yon. So, hindi parang rooted sa atin na if you're a graduate of a certain course, may option ka to teach. Because parang ang system kasi natin is, ang pwedeng magturo are those na graduate lang ng education. Because then they have to take the licensure exam for teachers. So, I just don't know kung nasa na tayo on that level. Pero yun yung gusto kong i-share kahapon. Hindi ko ma-expound kasi I needed to go to work. I needed to attend an important meeting now while Kayo was doing his live. So yun lang. And then also another challenge that I picked up from one of the episodes I did for the Conversations in Educations, when we talked about yung sa agriculture. So another challenge or problem that is happening sa education system natin or sa mga tao natin when it comes to education is there are a lot of people na nasa sabihin mo ng laylayan ng bansa natin or ng community natin na they will work hard para pag-aralin yung mga anak nila. Pero pinag-aaral nila yung mga anak nila sa courses na inisip nila is madaling makakuha ng trabaho and all and so malaking sweldo, ganyan-ganyan. But may nawawalang part sa bansa natin na hindi natutuloy yung sa part ng mga farmers and pwede din yung mga fishermen, ganyan. Na parang yung mga ito yung discussion noon when I was when I had the opportunity and the privilege to sit down and talk with these people, itong mga nasa academe. Sabi nila, parang yung mga farmers natin, they work hard para pag-aralin yung mga anak nila, enrolling into courses like accounting or engineering or something else. Pero yung farm nila, but not agriculture. Samantalang may farm that they could, talking about innovation, that they could improve on, they could invest on para lumago kasi yun na yung resources nila may farm na sila And so kung ano yung nangyayari, magiging graduate ng accountancy yung anak nila, bibenta nila yung farm nila. So in turn, nababawasan tayo ng edge or ng resources sa agriculture natin kasi binenta na, nagiging subdivision, ganyan. So, may mga ganong cases daw tayo. Also, yung sa fishes, gano'n. So, parang in terms of yung mga ganong fields, hindi nagkakaroon ng innovation, hindi nagkakaroon ng improvement kasi nawawala. Walang nagtutuloy ng industry. So, parang unti-unti silang lumiliit because nag-shift to other courses, to other learnings, yung mga descendants ng mga farmers or fishermen, ganyan. So, nakita niyo yung problema doon. So, yun yun. Yun yung isa sa mga na-discuss na problema na parang missed opportunities for us as a nation. Kung sana we can improve on that, nag-grow din sana tayo as a nation kasi meron tayong resources na hindi natin na-explore in a nice way, hindi natin napapayaman talaga ng husto kung ano yung resources na meron tayo. Because yung people nga natin is thinking about something else. Because mali yung understanding ng mga tao. So, yon, that's one. And then, another naman problem when it comes to education is tayong mga tao, education and people, tayong mga tao, lagi nating sinasabi, it's expensive and limited lang yung mga resources natin. Yes, it's expensive because remember, may tao din sa other end ng education. Siyempre, babayaran mo rin yung teacher, yung nagra-run ng school, yung nag-make sure na yung mga equipment and facilities sa schools are okay or conducive para sa mga estudyante. Yes, mahal siya. And in terms of resources, yes, limited yung mga references natin, ganyan. But then, we are full of excuses. And ako, for me, one thing lang din na na-realize ko in the recent years is parang ako nga, nagtapos ako sa isa sa mga prestigious colleges in Metro Manila. And yet, now, I see news of security guards na naging lawyers. And ilang security guards na yung may mga ganong kwento. Ilang mga tao na yung nasa laylayan na, alam niyo yun, naka-breakthrough sa buhay nila. So, mas nahihiya pa nga ako, mas mataas pa yung achievement ng nung security guard na yon kesa sa akin. And I came from somebody na hindi naman walang-wala. So, di ba, parang if you'll think about it, we have tons of excuses. And if we will just think about excuses, wala tayong mararating. Because those people na nababalitaan natin, yung mga good news, mga feel-good na news na fini-feature sa mga TV, yan, nagagawa nila. They were able to do it. So, what's my excuse? So, minsan talagang nagko-contemplate ako na parang, ano ba yung contribution ko na? Ano ba yung ginamit ko doon sa edukasyon na meron ako? Ano ba yung ginamit? Saan ko ba dinala yung kaalaman ko? All these years na naging estudyante ako, nag-graduate ako, nagtatrabaho ako. Saan ko dinadala yung edukasyon na nag-gain ko araw-araw sa trabaho ko? So, yun lang. Parang, of course, I know marami sa inyo magsasabing madaling sabihin, mahirap gawin. Again, excuses. Excuses. May mga taong nakagawa and they have way less than what I have. And ako nga, mas nahihiya ako eh. Mas mataas pa yung naabot nila kaysa sa akin right now. Diba? And in terms of sources of information, of course, excuses yan. Sinasabi nila yung education system natin, very limited yung sources of education, of information and all. Sinabi ko na rin to in one of my videos before, na that's why we have the likes of Attorney Libayan here, sharing free legal advice, sharing free education to many of us na walang access para mag-aral sa mga universities o mga colleges. Hindi mo pwedeng idiskwento dahil lawyer siya, or let's say the likes of sila Doc Alvin Francisco, Doc Dex Makalintal. They're freely giving away information that can help us individually. All you have to do is to listen to them, watch them, and take their advices. Using also critical thinking pa rin. Kasi marami sa atin na basta sinabi, gagawin, sunod, ganyan. Kasi yun yung sinabi, ganyan. Pero hindi iniisip if applicable ba yun sa buhay nila o sa current situation nila. Diba? Again, the problem is in the people. Okay? So, in terms of government, ayun na, lumabas naman sa poll ko na ang problema, corrupt yung tao and yung government. So, if you put corrupt people in the government, naturally, magiging corrupt yung gobyerno. Because may mga tao doon na corrupt. And, pare-pareho naman tayo na nakarinig na mga countless stories about how corrupt some people are sa government natin. And minsan, yung corrupt na tao is hindi yung high officials. Magugulat kayo, yung corruption is nandun sa lower level. And it has become a system or a way of life for some government institutions or government agencies. Gulatan na lang minsan. So, again, sino ba yung mga nandun sa mga posisyon na yun? Hindi ba tao din? So, yeah. Is it going to even be a debate yung kung tao ba or hindi yung pinakamalaking contributor ng progress or ng yaman ng isang bansa? Ang dami nagsasabi na sa isang bansa, sa Japan, sa Korea, yung mga tao disiplinado, ganyan-ganyan, ganito-ganito. Tao pa rin, di ba? So tayo bang mga Pilipino, ano tayo? Right now, in my opinion, marami sa atin mga whiners or mga reklamador lang. Mahilig magreklamo, pero hindi naman nagbabago. And countless times sinasabi natin na we elect the same kind of people, the same set of people sa government natin. And yet, paulit-ulit lang yung mga reklamo natin about corruption in the government. And yet, we do the same thing over and over again. And kapag kinokorek na or binibigyan na ng bagong kaalaman yung mga ibang tao, sila pa yung mainit ang ulo. So, mali ba ako nung sinabi ko na it's the people? That's the issue when it comes to why we as a nation, the Philippines as a nation, is not progressing fast enough, good enough to where we want to be. So, ayun lang. Again, if you reach this point, that's 45 minutes. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for spending 45 minutes of your time watching this video and listening to me. Let me know your thoughts. Ano ba yung mga na-encounter yung mga issues? Ano ba yung sentiment nyo about what I said, that it's the people all throughout? Let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, let's have a healthy discourse or conversation about this thing. And then, start na nating baguhin unti-unti ang mga bagay-bagay. I remember I was asked dun sa Sausawero, sa Discord, when I was able to join them, the group, last week. May question dun sa comment section na sinabi, parang, if manalo ba daw ako sa loto, ano ba daw ang gagawin ko dun sa pera? Well, one thing that I will do dun sa money is to produce something like the radio program that I used to produce, Conversations in Education. Kasi ano yun eh, it helps people know something about education. So I will most likely produce something like that if I had the money. Yeah, radio program, or kung kaya even a TV network or a block timer sa mga TV network. So just so people can learn and increase yung kaalaman nila about many things. That's what I'm gonna do. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good life. Smile always. Bye-bye.